Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and to a new video. So in today's video I'm going to be sharing a few things that I do to keep my small kitchen tidy and organised. So this is only a small kitchen, so it's important that we keep it tidy and everything has a place, otherwise it can get really stressful to cook or to use it. So I do try and be quite minimalistic in the kitchen. So I thought I would share a few of the things that we don't have in this kitchen to save space, but of course everyone will have their own personal preference, but this is just what helps us. So if your kitchen is tidy and organised, it just makes it more enjoyable to be in the kitchen. It's nice to see clear countertops. If I come into the kitchen and it's a mess, I just feel stressed straight away. There's nothing more annoying than starting to like cook a meal or bake, and then when you're trying to get pots and pans and things out of the cupboard, everything's just falling on top of you because everything's just shoved in. So it's much less stressful if everything is like neatly organised and easily accessible. The kitchen's also much easier to clean if there's not much on the sides, because you don't have to move loads of things, so it's just easy to spray and wipe and then you're done. Recently purchased Emily Norris's new book, and there was a great tip in there, which is if you've got an appliance and you don't use it at least once a week, then really it should be kept somewhere else, either in a cupboard or a storage cupboard, and then just bring it out when you use it, because then it's just taking up unnecessary space and you could just bring it out when you want to use it. So I do this with my slow cooker because I don't use it enough to have it permanently out on the side. The air fryer in the corner there I have out because we do use that multiple times a week. But anything like toaster makers, waffle makers, popcorn makers, all these extra things you have can be stored elsewhere in garages, cupboards, for you to bring out as and when. I recently had to move my KitchenAid as well because I wasn't using that once a week. I used to when I used to do loads of baking, but I haven't done as much recently, and that's quite a big item, so I store that in the upstairs cupboard, and then when I'm baking I'll bring it back out, but it is quite heavy, so ideally you want it on the side and it looks really nice, and they are expensive, but as this is a small kitchen I didn't have the space, and when we got the air fryer that took up the space where the KitchenAid was. So the kitchen is probably one of the most used rooms in the house. You're always in here, always making food, getting drinks and stuff. There's always pots being used. We don't have a dishwasher either, so we just try and keep on top of washing pots. But if you don't keep on top of the kitchen, it is a place that can get messy really quickly, probably more so than others. So unfortunately it is just a job that you have to do every day to keep it tidy, multiple times a day even. In my head I always just feel if the kitchen's clean, then the rest of the house just feels clean. If I can come into the kitchen and everywhere looks organised and tidy, then it just makes my life easier to do stuff. And also if the sink is clean and pots are put away, then it just makes me smile. Sometimes even if the sink area is just clean, it kind of makes the kitchen feel clean. A good tip is to try and declutter at least every 6 months. So if you can go through your drawers, pans, certain things you aren't using, there's already things in certain cupboards that I haven't got out for months and months, so really it doesn't need to be in there, and just stuff like that. It's so easy to not do it for so long and then you forget what's in the cupboards. Best way to do it is just pull everything out of the cupboards, you can see it all lay out on the floor, and then just put into piles what you want to keep, what you can donate or what needs chucking out. And then also if you're buying storage or organisation for the cupboard, so you can see what it is that you need to store neatly and what kind of storage is going to go best for those items. So the first thing that we don't own is a kitchen sink washing up bowl. So from using one in the past, we just decided we don't need one. They can come in handy for other things. I feel like if you want to take water outside to maybe like wash something or move around the house, but I do have other larger bowls that I can use for that I use for baking. But we just keep our sink area clean. They might be a bit more of an old-fashioned thing now. I know if you have like a butler sink or a really nice looking sink, then you're maybe not going to put a washing up bowl in it anyway. But for me, I was always just taking it out, putting them on the side, and then I just washed the pots in the actual sink and then put them on the side. So the bowl would always just be in my way, I'd always be moving it. I think maybe some people fill the bowl up with like washing up liquid and water and then leave things to soak in it, which can be handy, but most sinks come with a plug for the actual sink, so you can just do that in the sink anyway if you want to do that. But we tend to just wash the pots as and when we've used them and then dry them and put them away. So we really had no use for a washing up bowl. So when we moved into the house, I was really trying to think of things that we didn't need to buy or that just weren't necessary, and that was one of them. The second thing I try and not buy more of is glasses and mugs. Even though these types of things are really easy to buy more of, you see so many nice mugs and glasses, but really how many do you need? How many people live in your household? There's only me and James that live here and our little doggy Ralph, but he's not sat in his bed with a cup of tea or, you know, a glass of Vimto? And do you really need 20 glasses and 30 mugs where you could, you know, give a drink to your whole neighbourhood? But I feel like it is an area where a lot of people have way more than what they need, especially if you get gifted them as well. We used to get loads at Easter, you know, like with the Easter egg in and the mug and everything. So I'll show you the cupboard that we keep our mugs and glasses in. I try and keep them in a smaller cupboard because I always think if you put them in a bigger one and you have more space, then you're going to try and fill the space and you'll think, oh, I can buy that because I've got a bit of extra space in that cupboard. So I picked a smaller cupboard for those purposely, so that I know if I do want to buy a new mug or a new set of glasses, then I need to get rid of some that are already in there. The one in, one out method is a really good like system to live by. So if you want to buy something new, then you need to replace one of your old ones. You've got to think which one of your old ones has got to go, and that's quite tough sometimes, but it also saves you money and it really makes you think before you buy. And the third thing that we don't have in this kitchen is a large knife block. So we bought a big set of knives from Costco, which have been brilliant. They came in a big packet and they just go in a drawer rather than having like a big utensil pot on the side. Again, I've seen some gorgeous utensil pots, and if I had a really big kitchen, I probably would have a nice utensil pot on the side, but they often don't have knives in, so I've just gone off track there. But a knife block, often you see like big wooden ones on the side. Again, it's just more things to have on the countertop that isn't necessary in my opinion, but I'm no chef, I'm not really into my cooking, so maybe if you are, then that would be important. But they're still really good knives. We just keep them in the drawer rather than on the side to save space. And the same with the utensils, we keep those in the drawer just to free up space on the counter. Another thing that I try not to have too many of is plates and bowls. So again, you can get some really nice ones and they can quickly mount up in your cupboard, but there's only 2 of us here and we only use 2 plates at dinner and 2 bowls in the morning, and you know, maybe some during the day at the weekend. But when we moved into the house, I bought a dinner set for 4. I mean, most dinner sets come for 4 anyway, and we have had family around and things for dinner, so of course you need more plates for that. So I do think like a set of 4 is minimum, and then we had a few extras just from bits we've collected along the way. But until we started having kids and expanding the family and things like that, there's really no need for us to have like piles and piles of plates. So that is something that can be easily kept to a minimum. Something else that I find a lot of households have a lot of is water bottles. So like plastic water bottles or like glass cups and things. But these items are really hard to store and organise. They take up quite a lot of space. They're usually quite large. But again, how many water bottles do you need? I have this one I got from Amazon and I love it. It's got the chimes down it. I feel like everyone has them now. They're like a 2-tone colour and it's a straw, and I find I drink so much more water because it's got a straw rather than having to like tilt your head back and drink, if that makes sense. It sounds daft, but it seems to work, and I drink 1 to 2 of these a day. That's the only water bottle I use, and I've got another pink one in the cupboard which is like a thermal one, which I've not used for ages since I got that one. The only reason I keep it is because it's like a hot and cold flask one, and then James has got 1 or 2 in the cupboard, but he has another one again that he used, so we could really get rid of some. But I think especially if you've got kids, you end up with loads of water bottles and things, but they are big items to store, so chuck out any that you're not using. You know, they're fairly cheap to rebuy a new one if yours has got a bit old and you've used it loads. And number 6 is having too many pots and pans. So pots and pans can be so big and chunky and they take up so much space, and you only need a few to cook with. So if you think about what meals you make, everyone will be different again depending what kind of food you cook. But even if you're making a roast dinner, which probably requires like quite a lot of pans, you don't need multiple of those pans. I feel like over the years, once you've replaced pans, you don't chuck out old ones and then you end up with an accumulation, but they do take up quite a lot of space. So get rid of any pans that you haven't used in a long time. And I find the easiest way to store them is with the glass lids turned upside down on the pan, and then you can stack all the pans together. Otherwise, if you just keep the pans all inside each other and you have all these lids floating around, that you need to find places for them to store, and they can easily be dropped or fall out the cupboard and smash. You can get racks to stand them in, but they can be quite bulky. So I find like a set of 3 or 4 pans will nicely stack on top of each other if you turn the lids upside down on the pan and stack them that way. And the last thing I wanted to mention was having too many cleaning products that you don't use. So it's so easy to watch cleaning videos, you know, watch certain things on Instagram. You think, oh, I need this product, I need that product. So you go to B&M or Home Bargains or Tesco or wherever, and you buy loads of cleaning products, and then you bring them home and then you never really use them, or you've already got like 3 open and then you buy more. Finish the products before you buy another one. A lot of people's under sinks are just full of cleaning products, but if you're not using it all the time, then it's just taking up unnecessary storage. So make sure you're using and finishing a cleaning product before buying another one. Try not to get caught up in testing out new products, although it is exciting. Wait until you finish the one you're using. And again, it will save you more money because cleaning products can add up if you buy a few, so it will help you save the pennies. As I mentioned earlier, we don't have a dishwasher, so it's it's really important for us to keep on top of the pots. So we try and not waste any time. So in between cooking meals, we'll try and be washing pans or things that we're not used anymore once most of the dinner is cooked, to save time washing up after we've eaten. And then once we have finished eating, we'll bring our plates back into the kitchen, wash them, dry them straight away, put them away, so that before we go to bed and when you come down in the morning, the sink in the kitchen is all nice and clean. Even sometimes at the weekend we think we'll just wash them and leave them on the side to dry and then put them away tomorrow, but I can never do it because I hate seeing them there. So I'll just dry them with a tea towel and get them put away so that I can clean and shine the sink. And then when you come down in the morning, it's just such a nice feeling to see a clean kitchen. I'll show you some of the bits of storage that I have in the cupboards as well now. So this cupboard here on the right is the mugs and glass cupboard. So I've got a couple of small glasses here, which I always think come in handy. A few bigger glasses. We do have like a few collectible glasses that we've got over the years from certain places that we've been to, usually America, but I have smashed a couple recently. I don't know how. But we bought a pack of 6 glasses, which are there at the back when we moved in. Again, mainly for when visitors come. And then this one's got the mugs on, so I've just got a couple here, and then 2 spare glasses at the back there. There's a mug missing from there that I've used this morning. But as you can see, there's not really much space there for me to add any more. I mean, you could start piling them up here and having more, but I just think, what's the point? James doesn't even drink hot drinks, so it's only me that has them. And then maybe when visitors come around and things. And these are the Yvonne Ellen glasses that I got with a set that I got gifted once, which are absolutely beautiful. And then up here is the wine glasses, and then James's like pint glasses that he likes. That was from Orlando, the Rainforest Cafe. Just to excuse, that one was from a friend's hen do. And then yeah, he likes having his water and Vimto and stuff in these like large pint ones. There's another one at the back, but again, I smashed one recently. So if I do want to get any new glasses or mugs, then I would need to replace one of these. But then sometimes I think, well, that would be such a shame because there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. So until like I smash them or something happens to them, then I'm not buying any new ones. So this is like the Minky sink organizer. Bought this again when we moved in. Absolutely love it. It's just great for holding all sorts of little bits. Just makes the side look a lot neater. Can fit the washing up liquid in there, all sorts of brushes and scrubbers, and then the bottom comes off, collects the water, and then you can just empty it. Whereas some don't have a drainage, but then you get water and bits inside and you have to clean it quite often. And then under the sink I've got the washing tablets in this like washing tin holder. I think this was from Home Bargains. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I love it. That just stores all the washing tablets in there. It's great and it smells lovely when you open it. So that's super handy. I think you can get more of those like with all different things on. Dishwasher tablets, but we don't have one. And then I store most things in baskets. I appreciate this basket looks a bit of a mess and needs organising, but I have a bigger one down there with things that I don't use all the time, more like oven cleaners, fridge cleaners and things that I don't do every day. And then this one's more easily accessible, but if ever you need to get to these things or get under the sink, then everything's just really easy to pull out rather than everything being individually stood in there, and then it'd be a lot harder to clear everything out. So everything in baskets just makes life a lot easier. I have these tea and sugar canisters like most households do, but I didn't buy a coffee one because I don't drink coffee, so I just thought that was a waste of space. And I was wondering whether it'd look a bit random because usually we have tea, coffee, sugar, but yeah, I thought no, it'll just take up more space on the side. Don't need it. I do keep coffee in this cupboard for when guests come, but it doesn't need to be out on the side all the time like these. So I have my tea, which is my Yorkshire tea, which is my fave, and then the sugar is actually Canderel. I don't have sugar, but I do like a bit of Canderel in my tea. So yeah. Then in this cupboard down here, I've got 2 cereal containers here, which are amazing. These are the OXO containers. I absolutely love them. And then this one's the spaghetti one. So it's like a slimmer one, and these ones are a bit bigger. And I love them because they're just so easy. You just pop the lid, take it off and pour. There's no like awkward opening where the cereal doesn't come out properly. My favourite trays, they've got like a cushioned back on them, so they're super comfy and have been brilliant. And then you can see at the back there, I've got like a little shelf, a kitchen corner shelf. That's coming super handy just to store like various things. And at the back there as well, behind the cereal containers, is another shelf, so I can put my bowls underneath and then a few bits on top, and that's expandable as well, so you can make it as large as you like or just have it as the standard size. They're just great for being able to make the most of your space. This one's a bit of a random cupboard. This kind of has like blue tack, tissues, tea lights, batteries, a bit of sewing kit, quite a bit of random stuff, and then the tape dispenser. If you haven't got a tape dispenser in your life, then I highly recommend that you buy one, but I feel like everybody would have these days. And then up here is like my little first aid boxes. So the little one just has paracetamol and plasters, which we tend to use the most, and then the bigger one for things that don't occur very often, but just keeps them nice and tidy. It's really easy to get down around and stuff. Oh yeah, up here, because we are short on space, I tend to keep all my vases, my new trifle bowl there I got for my birthday, my lovely glass cake stand, another cake tin, the Pyrex dishes. I tend to keep them all up there because they're large items that take up so much space in cupboards. I think they don't look too bad up there. And I've definitely shown this before on my channel, but this spice rack has been brilliant. It was from Dunelm, and decided to put it on the back of the door, just again as a space saver. But every time you opened and closed it, they would rattle around because there was quite a bit of space on each shelf. So James put these zip wires further in so that they stayed like neatly in and it wasn't really noisy every time you opened the cupboard. So that was a great little trick. And if you just store the pans like that, it's just the easiest way, I find. And we also have this cutlery organiser. This was a Joseph one. I have a couple of things from Joseph and a couple of things from Brabantia, I think that's how you pronounce it, and they're just brilliant. They're like businesses that specialise in space saving products and just things that make your life easier. They are a bit dearer, but a lot of the products are brilliant. And the reason we have so much cutlery is because we were kindly given the set from James's mum, and that's been like passed down through the family, so that's why we have a lot of it, because we didn't buy it. And then there is a utensil organiser in there, but because there's quite a few utensils in it, it's harder to see. They're the knives we got from Costco, and they're great because they have the safeguarding like shield over the knives, which is perfect if you've got kids or if you're just a really clumsy person like me and will pass out if you see any blood on your finger. I like to have safeguards on the knives. And I think that is everything I had to share in this video with you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a big like if you did, and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. I would love to get to 1,000 subscribers by this Christmas, so we'll see, fingers crossed. Thank you so much as always for watching, and I will see you on Monday at 7 for a brand new video. Bye guys!